Hey everybody, welcome back to Breakfast with Bob Oceanside. My name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by HOKA, Master Spas, deboer wetsuits, Premium Plus Sports, SFuels, and their all-new Zone Fuels. You can get a free sample below. And of course, our Challenged Athletes Foundation. We're in the midst of sending out over $7 million in grants to over 4,000 challenged athletes around the world. Our next guest, who's racing for the first time at Oceanside 70.3, Fenella Langridge, joins us. How you doing, Fenella?
Yeah, I'm really good. So happy to be here, and what an amazing achievement for your Challenge Athlete Foundation. It's just
thanks.
each time I hear it, it's just growing from strength to strength, and you're doing new things. It's amazing.
Well, you're going to see a bunch. I think we got 35 different either challenged athletes or supporters part of Team CAF this weekend.
Wow.
So you'll see a bunch of them out there.
That's
we got
really
some.
good.
Yeah, we got some great athletes. When I was down at Clash Miami and watching India Lee win that race, I thought of you because I know you guys. I know you guys are friends, and people have seen the talent that Indy has, but people got to see it come full force on that day.
Yeah. I think all of us guys, I know her well, and I've trained with her before. We've all seen the talent and the dedication that she's put into triathlon over the last, well, even since beginning. I used to run in the same club as her, Winchester Athletics Club, when I was younger, and the talent she had then, and it's always been there, but I don't think she's ever shown it on a world-class stage before.
Yes.
And it's so good to, hopefully that will elevate her confidence, and so that she'll be able to do it again and again and again, like we all know that she is capable of.
So when someone has a race like that, it changes their perception among the public, but also among themselves, right? All of a sudden you're going, wait a second, I just ran by Lucy Charles Barkley and I just won the most important race of this year so far. Did you have a race like that where all of a sudden it sort of changed your perception of you?
I think when I was leading the Ironman World Championships back in 22 was probably that moment where I just felt comfortable at one, and I was just embracing every minute of it and really enjoying it, and I didn't feel like I shouldn't be there. I felt like this is what I am capable of, and where I should be, which is a really nice feeling, and I hope other athletes can feel that at some point too.
It's interesting because when I've interviewed people like an Alistair Brownlee or a Mark Allen, they've seen talent in other people, but they also have seen where those athletes will catch them on the bike and sort of like, oh, I shouldn't be passing Mark Allen. I shouldn't be passing Alistair Brownlee, and they'll sort of back off. For you were savoring that moment. I mean, helicopters overhead.
Yeah.
You're in the lead at the Ironman
Rainbows.
Rainbow, right? It was
palm trees. It was amazing.
People a lot of times are intimidated by the moment, and you weren't in the least intimidated by that moment.
No, I wasn't. I was embracing it, enjoying it, and I think it's taken a good few years for me to finally say this is where I should be, and the decisions I make are the right decisions for being a professional athlete. I suppose it's taken a while for me to really accept that this is a career, a job, and something that's a profession, whereas I think maybe in my younger years,
more of a hobby.
Yeah, more of a hobby, and friends and family didn't really understand what it took and the commitments that you have to make and the decisions that you have to choose to be at the pointy end of racing. But now I think the whole team around us really is driven towards this one path, and we're all making these decisions together, with the realization that I should be at the top end of these races.
Why not?
Yeah.
You're right. You should be right up there. This year if there was going to be an era for professional triathletes to do well, this is the time, because with what's happening with T100, PTO, with Ironman, their new Pro Series, there's a lot of options.
Oh, 100%. It's an amazing time to be a professional triathlete, and at all levels. I think when I first started, I went through my first few years, I was breaking even, maybe not even making any money, but the athletes that are coming up into the professional sport could make a good living in these next few years if they play their cards right, which is only going to elevate the sport and progress it even further.
So this season with the Ironman, and was there a thought before the season? Do I go with T100? Do I focus primarily on Ironman? Ironman racing, that's a lot of racing.
Yeah.
You know, it's an option of racing something that's a little less than a 70.3 or going longer. Did you have that option?
I was on the cusp of getting a PTO contract, so
Yes.
I was like, will I get it, will I not? But even before the decision was made for me by someone else, I'd had my eyes set on the Ironman series. I think the distance suits me a lot better. I've shown
Yes.
in the past that I can do multiple Ironmans well during the year. And at the moment, the Ironman races just excite me that little bit more in terms
Yes.
of racing alongside age group athletes in exciting locations that I've never raced before, and over the long distance that does suit me that little bit
Yes.
better. And if I wanted to progress, if I'm looking forward for the next few years, I think this is the best decision for me to do the Ironman series.
So the races you're doing this year, this is your first time here.
Yeah, first time.
And Ironman Texas.
Yeah, first time
First
racing.
time there.
Yeah.
World Championship in Nice.
First time there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so that's another reason. These races are in new locations, different challenges throughout the year. Racing, again, it will still be the best girls, and with every second counts, it's going to come down to those little margins, and
Right.
you have to be on it throughout the whole year, and there's no peaking. I'm going to have to be good at every race and be as close to the front as I can, which is the type of racer I am, and it really, I'm excited.
And wait, Hamburg in there as well too?
Yeah, Hamburg will be in there.
The
too.
first time there as well.
First time, yeah. So no, I'm excited because I've heard really good things about Hamburg.
Hamburg,
so,
I've heard is spectacular.
Yeah.
The crowds are just gigantic.
So I hope that'll
And what did from watching? I'm assuming you watched the guys race Nice last year to give you a feel for it. And I talked to Patrick Langay, and he talked about, I think he did 3 or maybe even 4 trips there to check, because of course it's so different.
Yeah.
8,000 feet of climbing, so different than anything else that you guys get to do. One, does that course suit you? And 2, will you be doing some training camps there?
Yeah, that course will suit me. I'm a light, powerful rider, and it's a longer day out, which will only suit a stronger.
Right.
Like it's going to be maybe an hour longer than a normal,
Yes,
or like
true.
in Texas or a Hamburg.
Yes.
So it's definitely a war of nutrition, and we will. Being European, it's so much easier to pop down there. I can pop down there as many weekends as I want if we wanted to, obviously. But yeah, we're going to focus and do some camps down there to check out the course and just get a feel for the area and logistics and how to make that weekend when it comes to World Champs as stress-free and logistically easy as possible.
Well, and there's not that many races where the downhill plays into it, but that's like being on a Tour de France course. I mean, it's those are some scary downhills.
Yeah.
But do you like that?
Yeah, it's definitely an area that I'm going to have to work on. I'm not bad, but I'm not great.
Okay.
And like you say, time can be made up in that area, and so we are going to spend a lot of time there and work with professional cyclists and other professionals to get as much information and keep learning and keep improving. I'm probably, at the moment, I wouldn't say I'm there yet, but I know I have been a great descender in the past. I just need to find that little something that will get me there.
So how many fulls are you planning to do this year?
3. Yeah.
Okay.
So I did 4 last year, so 3 is almost...
Oh, that's a vacation.
Yeah.
4 fulls followed by 3 fulls, and people would look back and go, okay, when people start doing 3-4 fulls a year, how long is their career going to be? But
you look where you speak to some of the other athletes that have been and gone in the past, and they used to do 7 or 8
they
fulls
did a ton.
year.
Yeah.
So
Paul
we're
would do a
almost
ton.
a bit reserved now, aren't we? Are we too scared?
Well, and the thing that Patrick Langay talked about yesterday, because I think he's planning to do the same, is just a recovery with, he feels the plated shoes really have helped with his recovery from doing the fulls. Do you feel that?
Yeah, I maybe haven't been around as long to know, or I wasn't doing fulls when...
before plated, so that's
I don't have much to compare it to, but
right.
yeah, the recovery between, and I think it's much mentally as physically, you've kind of got to keep a cool, calm head throughout the year and stay as level-headed and just focused for the whole season, and not have, I think we can't peak at too many times emotionally and physically, because otherwise we won't be performing at the end when those last seconds really count towards the end goal of winning the series.
So will Nice then, because that's like late September, does that finish the season, or you have other stuff after that?
Well, I'd like to head to
Taupo for 70.3 Worlds in December.
Yeah.
It's a long season.
It will be.
You're starting here in March.
Yeah.
Or in April, early April.
Last year I started in early March and I ended in December. So it is possible, but it did take, I think I need to make sure, again, mentally I'm in the right place to keep pushing. But with the prize that's on the line and the all the stuff that comes around with that, I think I'll definitely be able to keep motivation and that foot on the gas.
How have you changed as an athlete over the last few years?
I feel a bit more professional, level-headed, and just grateful and happy to be on this journey with all the people around me. And just like really embracing each opportunity that comes my way and the people that I meet and what I learn from that, and channeling that into my racing and just enjoying the racing. It's so much fun.
Do you have a training group that you're with most of the time? Are you a solo trainer? What do you do?
When at home, it's mainly on my own, or maybe with one other person locally that pops in and out. And then we would go away and we might have friends or training partners that come along with us.
Right.
One or two, but not big groups, just a small, close-knit group of people that we all get along, and we work hard in sessions, and then we go home and we just relax and have fun.
So you were out here in February. Yeah. And did you spend a lot of time on this course?
Yeah, a lot of time in the run course and in the the surrounding.
As much of the bike course you can.
We went to areas just outside the military base that mimic some of the roads, or the types of roads that we'll be riding. But it was a really good, just to see even silly things like knowing where the best place to get your groceries from, or best place for coffee, and just coming here and knowing that if I walk down there I'll get to that. That level of familiarity has really been helpful for this trip to help really settle straight in. Like, I've hardly felt jet lagged or the travel at all, and I feel really confident and comfortable coming in.
You're an Oceanside resident now, right? Yeah. Well, it looks like you're doing this, so you'll go right from here to Texas, so you'll be in the woodlands, you'll know that course like the back of your hand. Definitely, yeah. Right? Because especially it's a multiple loop bike course, so you can do that, so you can train on that. From this run course, I think one of the toughest part, people see the times and they go, it's a fast run course, but it's concrete. It's so much hard pavement. Yeah, solid. Not used to running on that in the at home, so it is a different. Yeah. It's funny because you think blacktop concrete, it's huge difference, right? It beats you up a little bit. Impact. But the course here on Saturday, the crowds on the run course. Really? Lots of crowds. Throughout the whole run course? Especially down here, down in this area. But at both ends of the course, there will be spectators. So it's pretty fun. You'll like it. The whole town of Oceanside pretty much closes down, and people come out and watch this race. And you'll see some pockets of people on the military base. Okay. But the cool part is you're riding parts that people don't get to ride. Right? It's blocked off. I've heard everyone said it's an amazing. It's beautiful. Amazing bike course. It's really a beautiful bike. And it's hilly. And so that suits you well. What's great about this course is you start, if they don't change it, you start in the ocean, so you're dealing with surf. Yeah. And then you swim into the bay, and then the bike ride has climbing and parts people can't get to, and then the run has crowds, and up and down this little bridge that's right behind us. It goes up onto the pier. Yeah, I've run up and down a few times. Have you? So you got a feel for it. It's a little kicker. Yeah, it is a little kicker, right? It's sort of surprising. Yeah. Believe it or not, they had a sprint race right here that rode up. Really? It rode up that bridge. Actually, there's video online of Mike the guy named Mike Pigg was leading, turning onto that pier, and he slid out, and Welchie went over the top of him and broke his collarbone. Like,
no way.
Yeah, it was called the Tri-Prix, and it was they raced right up on that bridge on their bikes. It was really, really crazy. So will you stay in Oceanside after the event for a couple days, or you head right to Texas?
Head straight to Texas.
Head to Texas.
Yeah.
And have you found, in terms of recovering from these falls, that you recover fairly quickly?
I think it varies through the season, and almost the environment in the race.
Right.
The first one is maybe a little bit longer, and then I think it becomes easier as the season comes on, as you've got the miles in your legs and like so. But it's just different every race. Yeah, you just don't know. You might find that extra gear where you can push that a little bit harder, and then it's also going to take a little bit more out of you. Maybe you just can't quite get that top end where it's not, I wouldn't say a training day, but it's not quite as stimulating as that full on race. So it just varies race to race, conditions, environments, so no, I think I'm pretty good at recovering, but who knows? We'll have to see.
Exactly. Have you been in the sport for how long now? How long have you been a pro?
7 or 8 years.
7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
And the sport has obviously changed a ton with the amount of prize money, the amount of professionalism, the people coming from the ITU circuit into this. You see it just getting faster and faster? Yeah,
I do. With technology, the growth of the sport, it may not be getting necessarily loads faster, obviously a little bit, but the depth of fields and the margin for error and the other technical, tactical elements that will come into the sport with the depth of athletes that will come in is definitely changing the outcomes and who's on top each year.
So a lot of times when new technology comes in, people look at it and go, I don't know, do I need to do that?
Yeah.
What have you looked at and maybe were a little, I don't know if I want to get into that, but then found, okay, that really was helpful?
Silly, like the huge or the bigger helmets. Especially for a rider like myself, riding one by. Obviously, we would have wanted to put a bladder down our tops, but we're not allowed anymore. That's a huge incremental gain. Well, for me personally, after doing these testing, obviously the shoes, they're massive. And I guess with wetsuits, I think it's very individual, and you have to find ones that fit you and work for you best. But once you've got one that fits, and a swim skin, it's just like game changer. And I guess training and all the training methods and thinking slightly outside the box. And I think that's changed and evolved, and there's lots of people doing polarized training, or is it volume? It's always in lactate and altitude and all those things. It's a minefield when all the things you could do and can do to try and improve your performance.
Are you one of those people who while you're racing, you want to know all the numbers? Or are you one of those people, I'm racing, I'm going by feel?
Probably more feel and a bit heart, which is good and bad, I guess. But
well, you could blow yourself up, but
it is just more in the moment, try and make the right decisions. The numbers are there to guide me and probably reassure me or scare me, maybe. But it's technology can fail, but you've got to know your body. You got to
know where you want to go.
Yeah.
So have fun out here in beautiful Oceanside.
Thanks for welcoming us to your hometown.
It's so great to have you guys back, and hopefully you'll have a great race on Saturday.
And good luck to everybody else out there.
Absolutely. Fenella Langridge has been our guest. Everybody, again, Breakfast with Bob from beautiful Oceanside. Hold on. We'll be right back.